Welcome to the next installment of the Sheff United Way podcast. I had so much fun the last time, just you and me. We had to come back with podcast number 3, Ole. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. I'm coming off the back of a excellent weekend. I've been to London, not a massive fan of London at all, but had a fantastic time while I was there. Managed to go to Pride on Saturday morning. I then managed to go to a one-man show with The Undertaker and then to WWE's Money in the Bank on Saturday night, and it was just incredible. Fantastic weekend. So I'm buzzing. You've got me in a good mood, which doesn't happen all that often.
Oh, good, because the first time I saw you, I thought you looked a little bit tired, but you're tired from all the incredible things that you done at the weekend, haven't you?
Absolutely knackered, but knackered for a good reason, and I'm okay with that. I can take that on the chin. It's better than normal when I'm knackered because I've had to go to work. So I'd much prefer this option.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I've had a really, really busy weekend as well because it's been my little boy's birthday, his first birthday on Thursday. It was so good. It's so good. It's so wholesome seeing your firstborn's first birthday. And then he had a little party in Graves Park as well. I asked Ollie, and Ollie said, there's no way that I would come to anything like that. I'm going to watch The Undertaker. That's what he said.
That is exactly what I would have said if you had actually asked. Even though Grace Park is, I can see it from this window. I live literally 2 minutes away.
I did think that, but at the same time, I'm like, I know that you're going to London anyway, and you probably wouldn't have wanted to bother with a load of kids' parties anyway. You don't want to go to a kids' party until you have to. Trust me.
Fair enough. I will take that advice on board, but I would have been there had I had the opportunity to do so. I think it would have been great seeing Louis, having him celebrate his birthday and not having him just cry when he sees me as he did last time after the football game at Bramall Lane.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We did play cricket as well. All the dads. I've never said that before.
Dads.
Not all dads, but most of the dads. Yeah, we had a good game of cricket. I was 1,000 not out, I think it was in the end. So
not a bad knock.
Yeah. No, the problem was everyone were having a go at me for hitting it hard and far, but it's only because everyone was steaming in with like the fastest bowling. So I either missed it or it went miles.
Nice. Well, you know what they say, quick on the bat, quick off the bat. It's why fast bowling don't go down fantastically well in T20 and get some absolute stick.
Yes, absolutely. But we'll not talk about cricket. It's not a cricket podcast, as I always say to Hal. It's not a cricket podcast, not an American football one or a baseball one. However, I live really close to the Hawk and Dove pub, which is near Emmanuel School and places like that near Crystal Peaks. And they've started to play baseball on that field. I grew up playing football for Beta Magpies on that field because it was right next to the school, and they're like, right, let's try and get these kids, the best of like this school, to play for Beta Magpies. And we used to play on that field. And now they're playing Silly Boys Rounders. What is going on, Oliver?
Not a fan of that. You're not. Guys. We're in England. We're not Americans. We're not out here chasing round and selling hot dogs. No. Let's play football. Let's play cricket. Let's do our kind of things. You know, that's where we want to be. But just to bring us back to obviously that party. So where you were up near Cricket Pavilion, weren't you? For your party the other day. Or were you on the front next to the animals?
Next to the animals.
Next to the animals. So if you go around the back where the cricket pavilion is, my football pitch, and anybody who knows Grace Park will understand what I'm about to say, was the worst football pitch that anybody has ever played on. So I played for Norton Lees, and we played on the slope at the bottom for some reason. I remember we played against Greenlow Edgers in a friendly. We played on the very bottom pitch on the one next to the woods, and it's like that. So legitimately, I think I played first off on the left wing and was like, how do you want me to cross anything at all? Like, I cannot kick it hard enough to get up the hill. Never mind put a crossing box. It was ridiculous. Just a ridiculous football pitch. And they couldn't play rounders on there either because they would get booed by anybody who walked past.
Yeah, completely agree. I've played on a very similar pitch before. Playing centre mid's not fun, running up and down, up and down. Which I did back in them days. Certainly won't be doing that these days. Let's talk about a few new things, because I've just written a load of stuff on a piece of paper and let's chat about it. So first and foremost, I don't know if anyone will notice, this is a new webcam. So we're trialing something because we are trying to make the channel bigger and better. Well, I say the channel, this is on the second channel. We're trying to make the good channel like bigger and better. But this one gets it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you've got the webcam, so we're trying to make you bigger
Me
and
better. Always try
yeah,
to make
right.
me better because I've got a massive ego, as we'll come on to in a little bit. No, I'm just trialing it out, to be honest, because I did think about buying 3 amazing webcams, and then I thought
Yeah.
probably best to
No.
buy one, check it out, and if it's good, buy 2 more. If it's not,
Yeah.
then send it back and try something else.
Yeah, I think that's the right way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you think to this. Let us know what you think if it's any better. We'll move on. Something that I mentioned the last one. Don't want to make it all about me, but I did mention in the last podcast that there was something going on with me why we weren't necessarily making as much content because my brain wasn't really on it. I've recently got a new job, which is quite cool. I know.
Ooh.
I know. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to make myself liable for anything in the future. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know what I can and can't say. But new job, everybody from my work's been told that I'm leaving, which was fantastic of them to tell them on Thursday. I had Thursday off for my little boy's birthday, and then I'm working from home Friday, working from home Monday, and then I'll be back in on Tuesday. So it's great that they said that, and then so I couldn't speak to anyone for like near enough a week. So yeah,
Perfect.
cheers guys. But yeah, it's a fantastic job. Hopefully, I'll still be able to put as many hours into Sheff United Way with the new job. But we'll have to see, wait and see. But we've certainly got some great people on board to help out anyway. So the last thing as well, coming with the new webcam, new style and stuff like that, we do have a new website. I say a new website, a website.
Ooh, well, that's exciting, isn't it?
We both said that's exciting at the exact same time then.
That's also exciting.
Yes, we've got a lad coming in to write articles, Jake, and you may know him as Between the Lines.
Yeah, so that's at BTL_analyst on Twitter. And he does some really interesting content talking about United, looking at potential transfer targets, looking at performances. And he's really stepped up to provide some really interesting insight into United and what we're looking at doing going forwards.
Exactly. So we've got some really, really exciting things coming up on the website as well. Obviously, we'll be promoting the videos as well. So there'll be everything on there. League tables, social media kind of posts down the right hand side. It's a really cool website that we've had a big deal in kind of developing and things like that. So yeah, another really exciting thing, but we won't spend too much time on that because you will see very soon what the website looks like. Anyway, let's get into the first proper topic. And I feel like we need to address something. And that is a bit of the hate that I've had on social media recently because it's all about me. We need to talk about me all the time.
Obviously, yeah. Yeah, that's always been the case. I knew that. I knew what I was signing up to. We're doing the Nick Way podcast, and that's always been the way that it goes. So no problem at all. More than happy. It's interesting, this one, because obviously talking about the hate, I think I'm probably preempting it now. I feel as though if I say it out loud, that's what's going to bring it on me. I'm going to get all of the abuse that I've not received yet. But generally speaking, maybe it's because I don't watch the videos back that often because I don't like seeing myself. I don't see it as much. I'm quite good at avoiding it. Obviously, there's a few I do get pointed out sometimes when people are calling me fat on the internet, which is great. Really appreciate it, guys. Keep that content coming. But other than that, I generally manage to avoid it so far. Obviously, I'm just not one of those self-anointed content creators. You know, one of those really self-proclaimed content creators that get all that kind of abuse, Nick.
Yeah. Do you know what? That was a great comment, and we will come on to it, definitely. Being called fat on social media makes me laugh because I used to be very, very skinny growing up. I probably started putting on weight where people normally do between kind of like mid to late 20s and like early 30s. You get a girlfriend, you get settled, you eat a load of pizzas, you drink a load of beer, you go out and Drink, because when you're younger, yeah, you drink a load of beer, you go out, you drink and whatever, what have you. But you also like play sport and you're very active. You're trying to chase whoever that you're after, whether it's a female, a male, whoever that you're interested in. So when I say chase, I mean
I was thinking
No,
about your terminology because as well you tied it into not being fat, and therefore it seemed as though you were physically chasing someone. You're like, yeah, I'm running all the time because I only have the opportunity from the bus stop to the front door, so I've got to run. That's obviously not where we're going, and that's not what we're endorsing. He means trying to keep yourself in shape so that you can look good for the person that you're trying to impress.
There you go.
Let's make that clear, Nick, because we don't want to be going all Barry Bannon on everyone, do we? So let's make sure we're getting this right.
Oh god! Well, we've done 3 podcasts now, and we've mentioned Barry Bannon in 2 of them. So I think next one maybe we try not to,
because he's a short little moron who apparently defends the indefensible. So maybe sometimes he deserves a little bit extra abuse.
Yeah, maybe so. But what I was
now
trying
let's
to come
talk
on
about
to,
abuse, Nick, and why it's horrible to receive.
what I was trying to come on to is the fact that I occasionally get, oh, you're fat, but that's normally not as much as what other people get because I'm tall. I carry it a bit better, but I feel like I'm overweight. But it's the hairline that gets it. My hairline gets it. You can land a plane on that for it. Like what I don't understand is right. Why do men recently? It's all about the hairline. The hairline is everything. It's like, I don't get it. Why does anyone care? Like men lose their hair. Men go grey. Men lose their hair. Like one of my best mates is grey. He's got a full head of hair, but he's grey. And I take the mick out of him. It's fine. Actually, I've just thought I called him Philip Schofield in my best man speech. This was before things came out. So thinking about it now, yeah, possibly shouldn't have done that, but I wasn't to know. But
how were you to know?
Exactly. I'm not Jack Jones after all. I didn't video him like 3 years ago with a child. Anyway, let's not talk about it. Anyway, I don't know what we're doing.
But I don't know. It does seem as though it's changed a little bit, I think, in recent times. I don't know if it's Twitter. I don't know if it's just that people got so stuck inside in COVID that they've just got angry, they've got bitter, and they have to take it out on other people that they see going out and doing things. But it does seem to have got worse in that. And I mean, like I say, I've not experienced anything like the worst of it. I mean, I've had a few people say, oh, he looks like he's spending too long in the pie shop or things like that. And that's, fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. It annoys my wife more than it annoys me, if I'm being honest. She was very angry about the fact. I was like, it's fine, babe. It'll be okay. I'm not that bothered. I just won't read the comments in future. So that's not too big a deal, but I just don't get it. And I think, like you say, generally speaking, I think we see it as banter a lot, but I think a lot of the times it's been going further than that more and more recently. And it is important that when we're receiving that, when you're getting like the messages that you put out the other day, it's important that we actually say, no, wait, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand why people want to go out of their way to try and bring down other people, to try and upset other people when there's just really no need for it. It's not instigated. If you don't want to watch the channel, and I know I shouldn't say this on the channel, but if you don't want to watch us, don't watch us. Don't message me to tell me that you hate me and you don't want to watch me. I know that. I don't watch me. I get it. So that's fine. I completely understand. Just don't watch. You don't need to tell me about it. And I think that's the main thing for me is just don't go out of your way. Don't try and make other people feel bad because there's just no need. And it's a waste of everybody's time and effort. I can't imagine it makes them feel better.
No, I can't either. And what I will say is now you've mentioned it, we're just gonna have a bit of a laugh about it, and we will have a bit of a laugh about it in a bit because like time has passed. But I'll be honest, all the job stuff was going on at the same time, and I felt horrendous receiving that hate. Like I'm not gonna lie, it was horrible, and I think a lot of people put a brave face on, and that's fine. And if you don't get upset by these things, I'm not saying I was crying my eyes, I didn't cry myself to sleep or whatever, but you see something and your heart drops and it's like, oh God. And it's like you've been shot over and over again. And people just get off on just putting people down. So anyway, let's get on. Let's talk about the hate because the first one is not exactly my best friend and I don't want to give him any sort of publicity. So let's crack on into it. He said, no, mate, he's called Ingood Nick. I call him Ingood Nick. He's a blend. So funny. Do you know the amount of people that found that really, really funny? I was like, Okay.
Yeah, cool. To be honest, having said that though, I only got the joke of England Nick. Like, it took me ages to understand that pun. So maybe in like another year's time, I'll understand his joke and find that funny as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
That's
what it
true.
is. I'm just slow.
Absolute B-end, Nick. Cringe-worthy videos and craving attention, which, look, I'm craving it again. And, Ollie, the last 2 podcasts got 1,000 views, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody, for
Top work
watching
team.
these. We absolutely love it. And the audio podcast going really well, too. So I'm just craving the attention, just bringing all the attention in. I love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
to be
love it.
fair, I've always thought that when we do these, we sit down and I'm like, Jesus, Nick wants to be centre of attention, doesn't he? Again, he's just always there.
The whole point of me bringing in you and Hal is so that I've got less attention on me. Less attention. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We'll get on to another. Wait a second. Is this the next one? No, it's not. But I will bring it in now, actually. Nick, or whatever his name is. By the way, this guy follows me on Twitter. That Nick, or whatever his name is the worst self-proclaimed content creator ever. Honestly, so damn monotone. Fair enough. I'll take that. I am monotone. I'm very, very monotone. And mind-numbing. Yeah, pretty much. But tries to come across as a seasoned veteran presenter. No, I don't. Clearly don't. I do not think I am a good presenter. Hal is a good presenter because that is his day job. He's a good presenter.
Yeah.
Me, I do social media for a living. I don't do presenting. I don't claim to be. And the reason why I don't claim to be is the fact that like I've brought in 2 people that I deem better than me to help me with the channel in Hal
Who's the other
and
one than Hal?
yourself.
BTL.
That you deserve so much more credit, Ollie. You really, really do. I think it's just because me and Hal have been on the channel for such a long time, but you deserve just as much credit, if not more. So the reason why I brought in Hal and Ollie to do this channel is because I deem them to be better than me. So that's it. That's what I've got to say on that. And I know Ollie's looking all sheepish now, and I'm going to move on because he doesn't like bigging himself up.
I honestly, I would rather read the abuse.
I know you would. I know you would.
Sat there, I was like, nope, not actually. It turns out, tell me I'm fat and get back to the pie shop or something like that. I'll feel a lot better. But no, I think as well, like that one, I don't understand, like, what are the other options for being a content creator if you're not self-proclaimed? Like, is he expecting white smoke from the Vatican every time somebody new is brought in? Like, do we take a vote on who gets it? Does the Lord of YouTube anoint you with like a special sword? I just want to know how he thinks people become content creators. I really want to know. Like, I want to meet this guy and have a proper conversation with him about what he thinks the job is. I want to see him, like, you know what I mean? I want to see him meeting like some of the really big ones, like Mr. Beast, and being like self-proclaimed content creator and explaining to him how he thinks he got the job.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Funny. Do you know what? You shouldn't have said that because people are now going to be like, well, they think they're as good as Mr. Beast because nobody takes things in the right context ever.
I definitely don't think I'm as good as Mr. I barely think I'm as good as anybody else. So if anyone thinks I think I'm as good, that's what I based my channel on, though, innit? You know what I mean? Just a Mr. Beast fan club is where I've come from. That's my background, and I've said it, so I'm trying to build off his brand. I'm like Beast Ollie, and what this is, it's a subset of Mr. Beast because I am at his level, really. If anything, I surpassed him a long time ago.
You're still talking.
I know. I need to stop.
What I will say,
reason I do this is that I've got ADHD and I need to find a way to get all of my words out, and so that's what I do.
Yeah. I think we're all a slightly bit on the spectrum, and I think probably content creators are a little bit more, to be fair.
Yeah.
What I will say is, in regards to the monotone, I completely agree. My ex, who was a horrible, horrible person, by the way, such a horrible person, she told me, I don't know what it was. I think we were watching like some sort of soap or something. And I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'd like to be an actor. I think that'd be a pretty cool job. Like, I think a lot of people probably say something like that in in their life at some point, oh, that'd be quite a cool job to do. She went, you won't be able to be an actor. You've got a monotone voice, or you got a nasally voice. That's what she said. You got a nasally voice. Ever since then, I'm like, right, okay, I need to get shut of her.
You're like, thanks, love you too.
Yeah. Such a horrible person. Let's move on. Next one is, that Nick. Wow. I saw him in the TC suite where we sit, and he was walking around like he owned the place. Came across so arrogant. I don't know how you seem arrogant without somebody actually conversing with you. We're walking around like this. Do you know,
You were doing like the Mr. McMahon. I'm gonna do my wrestling always was that you were doing like the big ball swagger. Yeah. Conor McGregor in it across this floor, being like, "Yeah, this is my suite." You should call it the NW suite.
Exactly. I think, didn't we have a bit of a joke about that on Twitter? I think I can't remember who it was. I had a bit of a joke about that with somebody saying that I should have that named after myself. At the end of the day, mate, I can't even remember which one's a TC suite. I can't remember which one it is because I certainly don't sit there. I sit in the South Stand Gangway C. So, like, I can imagine. I think I'm quite an introverted person when I don't know somebody, but become extrovert when I do know someone. I think a lot of people are like that. And there's no way for a second that I would have looked arrogant, because I was probably absolutely bricking myself walking around somewhere that I'm not used to. Me, you could probably say I look more arrogant when I'm in the South Stand, because that's my space. That's where I sit, and that's where I've sat for a long time. But yeah, it is what it is.
Probably, maybe they think that high is arrogant, and they're like, "Look how tall he is. He thinks he owns the place."
Tall. But anyway, yeah, I'm arrogant. That's it. Let's move on to the next one. Not an attention seeker. Seeking attention, is it? Couldn't be. Could it? Grow up, Nick. You weird C-bomb. Now, I'm not being funny, but if anybody C-bombs me, whether they're saying it in a horrible way to offend me, or they're saying it in a passing comment, straight away, down in my estimations, that is not a word that sits within my dictionary.
It's been known to have frequent use in certain situations.
All right, okay. I was thinking about this, and I was looking through all the hate comments because I've only picked out a few. There were quite a few more, and I was looking at thinking, I know for a fact that if this person met me, they wouldn't think all these things. But then I spoke to SUFC Moments guy, absolute legend. He goes to watch football where I watch football, where I watch my nephews play football. He watches his son, I believe it is. And I said to him, I understand it, because he walked up to me. This was the weekend of. Walked up to me and said, "Oh, the most hated man on YouTube's here. Hated man on Twitter's here." Sorry. Obviously, a bit of a joke, but I understand it, because I have said things about people before. Oh, she looks arrogant, or he looks like a whatever. I understand it, but it's when it's people that aren't famous that you could run into a lot and you could speak to. So it's not like they're unobtainable. Yeah. It's not like you're saying, I don't like David Beckham because he seems arrogant, but like me, he could bump into.
Targeted. I think as well, that's a really key part of it, is it's not targeted. Like, I will say, like I say, if I've complained about it, but I never say it to the person. I'm not going to tweet them and be like, "Oh, I just want you to know that I hate you," because there's no need. Like, it wouldn't, first of all, it shouldn't hopefully have an impact on them. But secondly, I don't feel the need to make sure everybody knows what I don't like or what I do. Like, I will talk to people respectfully, hopefully. Generally, will be very nice to people. I don't want to go out of my way to make people feel like crap. And I like to think that most people wouldn't want to do that. So I can't understand why people would do it to people. Like, it's not a massive platform, like you say. It's not a situation where it's somebody you're never going to know or you're never going to see, and you're just abusing them, I don't know, to make your life better. It's people who you might be able to have a conversation with, who you could get to know, who you could actually upset by sending out messages that are just unnecessary. I don't get it.
And you know what I will do? I will name check him, because it was a really nice moment. So I think it's Simon Bins on Twitter. He was giving me a load of hate on Twitter, I messaged him, as I messaged a few, and just said, if you want to DM me, we'll have a chat about it. Like, that's not a problem. Because a few of the things that he said were valid concerns rather than just saying, you're this, you're that. And he messaged me. A lot of people, I think I messaged two other people just saying, drop me a DM. That's fine. Let's have a chat. He messaged me, and within 3 or 4, no. Within 2 of my messages, so his probably the 4th message in the chat, he said, "Do you know what? I thought you were more of a than this. I really something like respect you for being so honest with me." And that's just from like a few messages back and forth. He went from absolutely hating my guts to thinking I was all right. And I'm not saying that he likes me, but that's all you need to do. If you hate someone or you for no reason whatsoever, why don't you just have a chat with them? They might be a civilized, normal, nice person. And I wanted to give him a name check because I think he deserves it. Because there's a lot of people that just throw out hateful comments on there and don't actually put the effort into actually seeing that person as a real person. But like middle-aged blokes coming on Twitter and just bashing people, I don't get it. I think it's a bit weird. And I think it's odd. And I think maybe they're covering up for something else in their life, which is fine. But like, don't bring other people into your misery.
You can't be happy to do it. And like, I think that's a real strength of character to then reach out and have a conversation and say, actually, you know what? I'll change my opinion because I've spoken to you now, and that's different. And that shows a real strength that you're actually able to reflect on it and think, actually, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. You're not that bad, kind of thing. And I think if more people could reach out and do that, hopefully things would just be better generally. I know that things generally speaking in the world are not great. And I know that people feel that a lot and things get more and more divided all the time. But I think if people just stopped trying to be horrible and focused on just generally trying to be nice to each other would make a big difference. But, you know, I'm a woke lefty. So what do I know? All I'm trying to do is make the world worse, apparently.
Anyway, I think we need to come away from that now. We've spoken about it for a lot. I think some of that might get edited out because we've banged on a lot about that. So apologies if you want.
Like 50% of what I said, I think. Just get it gone.
I think if you want to hear more about that, just drop us a DM on Sheff United Way. Yeah, it's probably something that some people may have switched off by now. So let's move on. What I want to say is something else new to add to the new section earlier on. We have got a brand new podcast coming up when I have the time to edit it. I'm going to try and edit it this week, and I will be giving an exclusive right now. I'm not sure if you even know this.
I don't even know.
I'm sure you do.
You said it, and I was like, I don't know who this is.
Hal and I did this probably 2 months ago, something like that, and I just haven't had the time to edit it, and it was a bugger of an edit as well, to be honest. Former Sheffield United manager Kevin Blackwell.
I did know this. Yes, you're right. I did know, but I'm very excited for it. I think this is going to be class. So obviously he was here a long time as well as assistant. He got a lot of abuse, and he'll actually probably talk about that. But he did a good job when he came in at United because he came in at a really difficult point. I would do a lot of comparisons between him and Heke, to be honest, in the job that they were doing in trying to turn United around after a relegation, after a really poor, high-profile manager had come in. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I might have even mentioned that in the podcast because I had that same feeling that it was very, very similar, so mirrored. I do think that one of the reasons why Kevin Blackwell got so much stick was because of the football, but you can't look at the results and say he wasn't successful because it wasn't the greatest football in the world. There was a lot of up and under and stuff like that. We had Darius Henderson up front throwing his elbows around. But we won games of football. He got us to a playoff final and could have easily got us promoted to the Premier League. And I'm very, very surprised that his managerial career didn't go in a slightly different direction because he could have kind of cemented himself as that man that comes in, gets the players moving, gets the players working. It's not the most attractive of football, but there's so many managers out there that are firefighters, and he could have easily been one of those.
Yeah, 100%. I think that he had every chance of being like a Warnock, but just at a different point. I was shocked that he's not gone further and actually had more success through his career. I thought he did all right at United. Like you say, it wasn't attractive, but we lost to Burnley in that playoff final. And on the way home from Burnley, fans wanted him sacked, which feels insane. I know, I remember, I think it was half time of that game at Wembley. The fans in front of me were, no, it's rubbish, he's got to go. Half time of a playoff final. Like, it just, he never, and I understand why people didn't like the football. I do. I know it's not attractive. It's not what people want to be playing, but it was successful for us at that time. And I think looking back on what happened after he left probably shows that he did do a pretty decent job, albeit that maybe at the time it had become a little bit untenable. Still ridiculous that we sacked him after the first game of the season, but, you know, that's United, isn't it?
And that's one of the things that you will see in this podcast. One other thing that I will mention before we move on from Kevin Blackwell is the fact that he had a bit of a Nigel Spackman moment where his best striker was sold, James Beattie. And if James Beattie wouldn't have been sold, there's no chance that I think would have got promoted first or second. And certainly if Beattie was playing in that final against Burnley, it would have been a different story. Because
if Jamie Ward weren't constantly just trying to catch ball, it might have been a different story. Because I've never seen anyone get sent off for 2 handballs before.
I think that Jamie Ward was injured, or he was coming back from injury. That's the reason why he was on the bench. And I think it was like, we can't afford to put him on for any longer than sort of like 10, 15 minutes, if I remember rightly.
I think he thought that were too long, so he tried to only have 5 or 6.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
was that the season that Paddy was banned as well?
That was when Paddy got banned. It was because of the semi-final against Preston. Right. Because we've spoken about this a few times on the podcast, and I don't think Preston had a shot on target, and Paddy got done for having an illegal substance in his system for that after that game, I believe. So you could have had a chair in the net. That's what was the conversation was. You could have had a chair in the net rather than Paddy Kennett, and we'd have still beaten Preston. But obviously he played in that game. His flu medicine didn't help him get to the top corner to save Wade Elliott's shot. But You'll see that coming up very, very soon. I think it'll probably be the weekend by the time I've edited it, because it was a bit of a tough one, not because of Kevin Blackwell. Kevin Blackwell was lovely, by the way. I actually wasn't expecting him to be as lovely as what he was. But we had to move from what the program that we use to Zoom because he kept dropping out all the time because of the internet issues. So it might look a little bit different to people at certain times, but hopefully it all comes out well. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I've been neglecting editing that one, because I think it's going to be a bit of a bugger. Right, so for the eagle-eyed of you will notice that Ollie is wearing a different t-shirt. And for that reason was because we were rudely interrupted. However, we are back, and let's now, Ollie, do the quiz.
Quiz time. Yeah, let's go.
Right, let's get straight into it. So the first question is, the last 6 championship hat-tricks were all scored by strikers, believe it or not. The last 4 were scored by Billy Sharp and Leon Clark. But who were the previous 2 hat-tricks scored by?
Ooh.
Oh, wait, I've got to give you some options, haven't I? That might be a good idea.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
So we've got Danny Webber, Darius Henderson, James Beattie, Richard Cresswell, and Ched Evans.
Right. Okay, so Billy was Villa and QPR. Clark was Fulham and Hull. And then who else have we got? So Ched, no, he was rubbish in the Championship. I know he was a top scorer, but we did get relegated and he was awful. Yes, that's my dog. Yes, she's still wearing the cone. It's fine. Who else have we got? Cresswell, I think, joined us after we'd got relegated and only played in League One. So I don't think it can be him. Right, and so I'm going to do this. My controversial Sheffield United opinion, and it is fairly controversial, is that Danny Webber wasn't actually any good. I've never rated him. I know. And I thought this at the time when I was a kid. I'd got people constantly telling me, you're stuck in the curtain.
Oh, armpit lick. Everyone loves a good armpit lick.
Lovely. You just want your moment in the sun, don't you? That's what you want. You want to be on screen.
Bless.
Yeah, there you are. Old One Eye sat here trying to get a face on camera. Or she wants some food, one or the other. I'm sure she'll get fed very, very shortly. But yeah, so who's the other one? Danny Webber. I just never got on with it.
Can I just tell you, Richard Creswell played 2 seasons in the Championship for Sheffield United.
For Sheffield United?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. I thought you were wrong. 31 games in 09-10. 35 games in 2010-2011. And then 42 in League One.
I knew he played a lot in League One. I did not know he'd played in the Championship at all. I have no memory of that.
Okay, does that make you want to change your mind?
No, it doesn't. Because if I have no memory of him playing in the Championship, then he obviously didn't do all good, and therefore he didn't score a memorable hat-trick. Right, if he
did score 12 in the first season that we had him.
He scored 12 in the Championship?
Yeah.
What year?
Yeah, 09-10. Which means he could have scored 4 hat-tricks.
Yeah, but he didn't. What is 09-10 Blackwell? Back to Blackwell.
Yes. When we finished,
so that's
8th.
the season we finished 8th. Right. Right.
And then the season after, we were relegated.
I've already written him off. It's not Richard Creswell. I don't think Danny Webber's any good. It's BA and it's Henderson.
Wow, that's right as well. He got it. He's got it. The boy wonder has got it. Fair enough, mate. Let's move on. Let's not dwell on that at all. Nothing to dwell about. Let's fire through into question number 2. The last 4 managers to get the Blades promoted are all Blades legends, you've got to say. Dave Bassett, Neil Warnock, Chris Wilder. I think Hecky has probably put himself on that legendary status because you don't get a team promoted and not become a legend, I think. But can you name the top goal scorers from the Blades in those 6 promotion campaigns? So you got the first one, which is last season, 22-23. Who was the top goal scorer?
Now, you see, I'm confident in most of these. There are some before I was born that we'll have to maybe have a look at.
Young man here.
Yeah. But last season, I think it's Ndai, but it could have been McBurney. My answer will be Illiman.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Illiman.
I think it's Illiman.
I've got Illiman down here. However, when I did look it up, it said Illiman and Ollie Mack got the same amount of goals, which I don't believe. So I'm going to go on to FootMob and just make sure. 14 goals.
Yes.
Of which 13 were inside the box. Ollie McBurney, 13 goals, of which 11 were inside the box. Ollie McBurney scored 2 goals from outside the box. I remember one against Hull, which the keeper made a terrible, terrible hash of it. But I don't remember the other one.
He scored 2 outside the box?
Apparently. Let us know in the comments which the other one was, because we've both drawn a blank on this one. But yeah, I do remember the Hull one. That was, when he was flying.
And I thought Illiman would have more. So Illiman's only one must have been the Blackburn at home. This is the real quiz.
Yeah. That was literally millimetres from the box, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wow. No, I wouldn't have got that. So anyway, Illiman and Dye, top scorer last season.
Yeah.
Billy Sharp, top scorer for both of them under Wilder.
Yeah.
Got 30 in League One. Don't know how many he got in the Championship.
Do you want to find out what the other answers would have been? So like what the choices were. So I gave you Illiman, McBurney and Sharp. And then...
Definitely weren't Sharp.
18-19 season. Sharp, McGoldrick, Leon Clark.
Leon Clark was the year before and Didsey was the year after.
Yeah.
Well, no, 2 years after, weren't it?
Yeah, when they scored loads of goals. 16-17 season, I gave you Leon Clark, Billy Sharp, and Keelan Lavery. He scored some goals.
Did Lavery get 2?
He scored. No, he scored more than that. I'm sure of it. I
don't remember Lavery getting many. I remember his traditional, I'm going to run really fast in one direction, cut inside and curl it just wide of the far post.
He loved that.
I remember him doing that at least once a game. And it was every single time he did it, I went, oh, he's good though, isn't he?
Well, he scored 4 goals in the league. I'm not sure about cup competitions. He might have
Billy got 30. So I think Billy might have just beat him.
I would say only just.
Just beat him.
05, 06.
05, 06, I want to ask you for clarification. Because I know the answer for the most goals scored for Sheffield United was Neil Shipperley. But the top scorer in the league that year was Adi Akinbayi, because we signed him in January after he'd already scored loads for Burnley or somebody else.
No. Didn't score him for us.
Neil Shipperley.
Neil Shipperley. Yeah, of course it is.
Neil Shipperley.
Akinbayi scored like 1 goal against Wednesday. Did he score any more?
It was worth it though, weren't it?
Any
money were worth it for that Akinbayi goal.
Well, Akinbayi is not even in my top 3 that I've gone for here. I've gone for Shipperley, Cabba and Webber, and I think they all scored around 10 goals, but Shipperley got 11. I think the other 2 may have got 10 and 9 or 9 and 9 or something like that. I remember them all chipping in, and that's the best way to be. I like that. Next up, we've got 89-90. Did you watch our Ian Bryson podcast?
No.
Okay. Well.
No, I didn't. And I've admitted it straight up because I'll be honest. It's a little before my time, is Ian Bryson, as is this season. I wasn't born till 94, August 94.
Well.
But I did listen to a Dave Bassett podcast. He was on Quickly Kevin last week, week before. And so I'm assuming it's either Dean or Agana. And based on how many goals he scored, I'm going to say it's Dean.
Well, you don't even let me give you the options
Sorry,
yet.
What are my options, Nick?
Why did I ask you about Ian Bryson?
Because he's going to be one of your options. Because he played in that team.
So, 89-90. Ian Bryson, Tony Agana, Brian Dean.
I'm going Dean.
Are you sure?
Are you going to tell me this? Bryson?
Well, it's up to you. I don't want to put.
It's got to be either Dean or Agana. Is this the season when they both got 30? Or is that the year before when we were coming up? When they both got between them, they got something daft like 65 goals as like a strike partnership. I'm going to say Brian Dean.
And you would be right. And finally, 88-89. Again, you've got Brian Dean, you've got Tony Agana, and you've got Peter Duffield this time. And we've actually met Peter Duffield. He does all the hospitality stuff in the boxes. He is an absolute legend of a man. He's got some great stories as well. And we were talking about getting him on a podcast, but he just didn't play enough games for Sheffield United over a long span of a career. But he might have scored a lot of goals.
I reckon if you'd been top scorer in a promotion season, you'd be remembered enough to come and do a podcast on Sheffield United away. But I mean, it's always good. I wasn't considering him even an option. It's either Dean or Agana. I don't know which one. It's a toss-up for me. But in my head, Brian Dean was always better than Tony Agana. And so I'm going to go for... not in a bad way. No insult to Tony Agana, who's an absolute legend. I never saw him play, but I understand from my dad that he was incredible. But like Brian Dean, I know went on and did more, and I'm going to have to say Brian Dean again.
And you would be wrong. It's Tony Agana. 31 goals in 88-89.
So Dean must have got 30, and that must be the year they got 60 between them.
There we go. It must be. It must be. Well, this is a caveat. This is everything that I've got off the internet. Like Ollie said, this is not the year before. This was the year after I was born. So I wasn't really that into Dean and Agana at 1 year old, which I probably should have been. Right, so question number 3. Believe it or not, the main last 4 Blades keepers to play for the Blades have all had at least one hat-trick scored against them. Name one player for each goalkeeper. And when I say main goalkeepers, I'll read them out to you now. So we've got Dean Henderson, we've got Simon Moore, we've got Aaron Ramsdale, and we've got Wes Foderingham. So every one of them at least had one hat-trick scored against them. You've got to name every single one of them to get it right.
Right. Right. So Andy Vyman, Dean Henderson.
Very good. That's the one that I thought you weren't going to get.
I think it's. See, I'm not certain on this one. Is it Iheanacho against Ramsdale?
That's very good, that, because I didn't get that one. I got somebody else for Ramsdale, and you've got that one, so I might as well give it to you. Gareth Bale against Aaron Ramsdale.
Gareth Bale against... Iheanacho did get hat-trick, didn't he, in that one where we lost about 5-1? Yeah. Oh, this is hard now. So, who will have got one against Simon Moore? Probably that kid at Walsall.
Oh, Walsall. Bloody Walsall. It'll be
bloody Walsall.
Do you know what? It'll be like Brian Dean and Jago Fiotov being sold on the same day, Walsall. Everyone will remember that for years.
Every time. So who will have scored hat-trick against Simon Moore?
I'm going to have to give you a bit of a time limit because this could go on forever.
This could go on forever. So I'm struggling for Fotheringham and for Moore. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know either.
Right.
I'm going to say it's that kid from Walsall who only ever scored about 8 goals in his career that did it against Moore.
I don't know if that's true, but there is another player that scored against Simon Moore, a hat-trick, which it's a bit outside the box.
No, I'm not going to get it against Simon Moore.
Do you want me to give it you?
Who beat us in League One? We didn't lose many.
This is why I said it's outside the box.
Did we win?
No.
Did all the goals come from outside the box?
No. Do you want me to tell you?
So we lost to somebody. No, who beat us in League One? Yeah, you're going to have to tell me.
Well, right. Well, you can't get it right now, but I'm going to give you a big, big hint. It wasn't in League One.
He played in the Championship, didn't he? And it's... Did he not play in the Championship?
He
played in the Premier League. Who did he play? He played against Man U. Who scored hat-trick against us for Man U?
Anthony Martial.
Anthony Martial scored hat-trick against us for Man U. COVID.
Oh, it was 3-0. It was 3-0.
3-0, Martial hat-trick.
Yeah.
Fotheringham. So that means it's happened in the last 18 months. Somebody's bagged hat-trick against us.
Yeah. And this is a hard one as well, because I did not think that... I'd completely forgotten about this. You're going to kick yourself right up your backside when you hear this.
Who's done us, though, in the last few years? Like, we haven't lost.
You're going to hate yourself.
That's right in my wheelhouse, to be fair, Nick. It'll be fine. Gyökeres do it? I don't think so.
I'm so excited to tell you.
Go on. Give me a hint.
He's Algerian.
I don't know who this player is.
Riyad Mahrez.
Oh!
I told you you're going to kick yourself.
Of course it's Riyad Mahrez.
Can you believe it?
Oh my
funny
God.
Oh,
that was a horrible question, right?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I Googled that and I found that one and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. I knew all the other ones because that Martial one, for some reason, always sticks in my mind.
No, apparently I forgot that we conceded. I've blocked out like that 18-month COVID period. I don't remember any of it. None of it matters to me. Anthony Martial. Oh, that's not good, is it?
Not even a good player.
No, I think he's called Bakayoko, the guy at Walsall I was thinking of, who might actually be better than Anthony Martial.
Could be. And he also could have scored a hat-trick against Simon Moore.
He could have done. I don't think he did. Did he? He could have done. I just want to know that I'm not going insane. Yeah, you ask me the next question.
Right, okay. The last two questions relate to each other. So, which of these current/former Blades have the most Instagram followers? And you can see that they relate absolutely nowhere to the first three questions because I just thought of these just before we came on.
Fair enough.
So we've got Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire, Phil Jagielka, Illy Menindai, Dean Henderson, DCL, and Aaron Ramsdale. There's a lot of players in there. I apologise for that.
There are a lot of players in there. Remind me of the question and the options again.
Which former/current players, I've put current in there because Illiman I've thrown in there, have the most Instagram followers? Now, do you want to?
It's got to be Ramsdale or Maguire, hasn't it? Or Kyle? Could it be Kyle? Could it be Kyle? So it's got to be Ramsdale, Maguire, or Kyle. Maguire is Manchester United's captain, but DCL was on cover of Vogue. Yeah, leave DCL in. Leave me 4. Leave me Calvert-Lewin, Ramsdale, Maguire, Kyle. Now,
Jagielka not in there?
Oh,
10 years in Premier League.
No, Jagielka's not in there. Jagielka is not going to be the answer to this question.
Okay.
Maguire is Manchester United's captain. Like, he's the captain of Manchester United. This is Manchester United that we're talking about. I'm going to have to go. So Calvert-Lewin I'm taking out. I don't think his fashion empire is taking him far enough, despite having been on cover of Vogue or whatever it was. I don't think it's going to be him. It's got to be Maguire. It's got to be Maguire. It's got to be.
Over Kyle Walker?
Yeah. He's cap... No. Yeah. Yes. It's
Manchester goddamn United.
Manchester goddamn United. It's got to be Harry Maguire.
Are you right? Well done, mate. Well done. You are correct. Harry Maguire, 4.6 million. Kyle Walker, 3.8 million.
Miles away.
I'm not going to give you any of the others because the second question is, same question applies, but who has the least followers? So I'll read them out again. So we'll get rid of... Yeah, we'll get rid of Maguire and Walker. I'll leave DCL in there for you. So we've got Jags and Dye. Bearing in mind, and Dye only just started his Instagram a year or two ago. Henderson, Calvert-Lewin, Ramsdale. Jags and Dye, Henderson, Calvert-Lewin,
So I'm going to go outside the box and I'm going to say that Jagielka doesn't have Instagram.
I'll give you a hint. He does have Instagram.
Okay. It feels like it's got to be Ndai, but he played at the World Cup and, like, he's a star for his country. Like, he's a really big player who will be about to explode. So will people in Senegal all be following Iliman Ndai? How big is Senegal? I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe it's small. So I don't know why, but I think it's got to be either Jagielka or Ndai.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that it's Ndai.
You're going to say it's Ndai? Are you sure?
No, but I'm saying it anyway.
Who's Jagielka?
Oh!
I don't know why you listen to me. All I'm trying to do is put you off, always.
I know. I just thought that Jagielka... I just got a gut feeling that he wouldn't be a good Instagram follow. Like, nobody's going out of the way and being like, tell you who I'm going to follow today. Phil Jagielka. Oh, he had some banging content. One of these self-proclaimed content creators, Phil Jagielka.
All right. Well, I'll run them through for everybody at home. So, Harry Maguire, 4.6 million. Kyle Walker, 3.8 million. Next is Aaron Ramsdale at 1 million exactly, who's overtaken Dean Henderson at 942k.
Yeah.
Dean Henderson, 942k.
He's a good follow, though, isn't he? Like, he's good for the banter. So I think lots of football fans will have picked up on his banter. And he played for Manchester goddamn United.
Exactly. Calvert-Lewin, 521k. I thought that was more than what I expected.
I don't know. It depends how, it depends how many people follow him for his fashion takes. I did think there was a chance that him and like Tom Davis would be much higher than you would expect off the back of their escapades elsewhere.
Maybe so. Then we've got Iliman at 326,000. I'll be honest, every time I post something on Twitter about Iliman Ndai, I get 50 to 100 Senegalese followers after that. sounds like it's a dodgy sort of thing that I do, buying followers. But honestly, every time, and I said this to Hal, and he did a post about Illuminati Die and got no followers from it, which did make me laugh.
I did a full Sky video with League 72 about Illuminati and got no followers off the back of that either. So apparently it only works sometimes.
It only works occasionally, yeah. Also, Bosnia as well. Bosnians have got a really, really big following on Anel. I put something up about Anel on the Sheff United Way Facebook page, and that absolutely blew up with Bosnian followers and likes and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's it. That's what it's all done. Jags. Oh, sorry, I didn't say Jags. 149k.
Poor Jags.
Poor lad.
I'm gonna go and follow him.
Oh, right, follow him right now.
Everybody, do the same as us. Follow Jagielka.
Yeah, go and follow Jags. Done. Followed him. Hope you have as well, Ollie.
I mean, you're a lot faster than I am.
It's a good job I was just pretending then, Ollie, unlike you, which you're properly going into it, right?
149,000, yeah. Followed by me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
Still only 149,000 because it doesn't go into the decimals. But
right, yeah. So that's us all done with the quiz. Finally, mate, I think we'll probably do a video about this in the future. So we're probably not going to touch on it too much. But potential players coming in: Doyle, McAtee, Traore, Slimani. There's loads at the moment. Have you got any thoughts on who you'd like to see come in from those that have been rumoured?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of fun at the minute. I think obviously we're not seeing all the movement that we wanted. I think obviously we've seen some players going elsewhere. But I think of those rumoured, I think this Traore looks fairly interesting. Got a really good goals record this season, something like 14 in 17, which is something that you want to pick up on and you want to try and take advantage of. Admittedly, last time we signed a striker from the Swedish League just after promotion to the Premier League, he didn't turn out to be a world beater, but he did get fouled at Old Trafford and that should have been a penalty. I'm still bitter. I'm still angry about it. I like the look of Slimani. I actually think he looks quite exciting as well. I think there's something there. You know, he's 6'2", he's centre mid. We've not had loads of height. We've not had a physical presence in midfield all that much recently.
I think Dean Hammond probably the last one.
Yeah, I mean, that's properly physical. It's been a long time.
Are you trying to say that Dean Hammond wasn't physical?
No, I'm just trying to say he wasn't good.
I'm glad you said that. That's the right answer.
So, yeah, I think that would be quite good. I quite like the look of Slimani, and we just need midfielders. So I think anybody rumoured to be coming in who can play in central midfield, I'm going to be fairly excited about, because quite frankly, we've got absolutely nothing. So, yeah, Doyle, McAtee, would love them. Absolutely love them back. Thought they were brilliant. I thought McAtee particularly came up clutch when we were going for that promotion. Just kept scoring important goals, which is massive. And Doyle just made such a difference in midfield to the point that he'd taken Norwood's spot. So, of course, we want him back. I'm not that excited about Holgate. Like, he's rumoured a lot. And I just...
Yeah.
Does he make us better? I personally don't think he does. I don't know where he would play. Are we saying that he's going to get in instead of Egan? No. He can't play on the left because he's right-footed. Is he going to get in instead of Anel? No. So I don't really like the look of that one. But again, willing to back the club. Like, if Hecky thinks he's the right man, then he knows a lot more than I do. Seeing people throwing names out. Obviously, we keep seeing lots of names just by fans. Don't think these are from anybody in the know. Don't think these are names that are going to come to the club. But obviously, we've seen lots of talk about Michail Antonio. He's a decent player. He's fine. But for me, too old, probably on too much money. And I still hate him for what happened in League One. And I blame half of that on his shoulders. So don't really want Michail Antonio because I am a bitter man.
Do you think that Antonio cares enough about Wednesday to not want to come to United? Because I looked and he played way more games than I thought he had.
I think Michail Antonio's forgotten that he played for Wednesday. I think he's forgotten he ever went there and is just completely like he was there on loan. He then went there for a year. He then moved on. I don't think he's exactly got a dying affinity for Sheffield Wednesday, but he has enough of an affinity for me to not like him, which is what really matters here. It's my opinion that people want. That's what Hecky's really wanting. He's been waiting for this video to think, does Ollie think we should sign Michail Antonio? And I'll go on his word. And then obviously, yeah, just throwing out names that people have been doing. And I think people need to be careful about what they want. I think in particular, one name that keeps doing the rounds on Facebook is somebody we would not want at the club, wouldn't want him anywhere near the club, to be frank, and he shouldn't be playing football. So I don't want names like that being thrown around, really, if we can avoid it. So yeah, be interesting to see what happens. But I think of those being rumoured, there are some quite exciting ones coming in there.
Yeah, the one that you were just referring to, I know you didn't want to name him, so I'll just say he's a Manchester United attacking threat, shall we say. Threat, I said that with a bit of emphasis on that. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Threat's probably the right word for him. I mean,
I know, that's why I didn't want to say it.
yeah, we just don't want him. It's, yeah, nothing like that.
No, we're a family club. Love what the club, the stance of the club's been on the bet. Like, we've had loads of betting companies wanting to sponsor us, and we've said no. I absolutely love that. I think that's mostly got to do with the Middle Eastern culture and the fact that they don't gamble and things like that. But also, I think it's a fantastic thing. I don't like gambling one little bit, and what it does to people's lives and stuff like that. So I'm a big supporter of that.
It's the right thing for the club. We've got a really good community foundation. You know, we see the work that they're doing, but also we've seen the fantastic work that we've been doing with the women's team as well. You know, they've just announced that they are going majority professional now. I believe that's setting us on a really strong footing. It's fantastic to see the investment going in that space. And I really just don't want to see us doing anything that's going to throw that away or make it feel as though that's just paying lip service. We really value what the women's team bring to Sheffield United, and we need to make sure that we continue to make it clear that there's no place for anything other than inclusivity and no place for anything other than making women feel valued and part of our football club.
Very, very well said. The club's not asked to say anything like that. That's come from the heart, because we want our club to be a club that people look at and admire, really.
Yeah.
So as well, I want to buy a season ticket for the women's team next season as well. It's not too expensive, so if anybody wants to grab themselves a season ticket for the women's team, go for it. Make sure you do. And I think we're going to leave it there, Ollie. Really enjoyed chatting to you today. I think this is going to be a bit of a longer one, but we'll try and edit it down a little bit, because there was a gentleman saying thank you very much for us doing this podcast, but we were a bit shorter last week, and he didn't manage to do his full hour run listening to us. So we really, really apologise. And I also apologise for not name checking you, because I read this a few days ago and I've forgotten since. So I'm really, really sorry about that. Make sure you comment as well. This will be more than an hour, so enjoy that longer run. And thank you, Ollie, as always.
No worries. Thank you very much, Nick. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, apologies for our rude interruption in the middle and my change of clothes, which kind of ruined the continuity.
But not for the audio listeners.
But not for the audio listeners. You're all welcome.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.